Hello and welcome to another episode of Dane's Desk, where each week I ask a guest about a different advising topic. Today, I'm happy to welcome my friend and colleague, Micalena Sallavanti. Hey, Micalena, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you, Dane.
All right, Micalena, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so as Dane said, my name is Micalena Sallavanti. I work as an academic advisor at Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I advise first and second year engineering students.
Awesome. Micalena, are you involved in NACADA at all? Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've been a member of NACADA for I think 5 or 6 years now, and I am part of the first year students committee. So I help to plan some events for that, and that's been a fun way to kind of get to know some advisors from across the country.
That's awesome. All right, so our topic today, an important one. So a lot of us have been experiencing the pandemic and COVID-19 and working remotely. Can you share some any information, any lessons you've learned, any advice about lessons from the pandemic?
Yeah, I would love to. This is, such a hot topic right now. I think especially as we begin to think about how to transition from pandemic life to post-pandemic life. And I've been spending a lot of time reflecting on, what did I learn during this pandemic? What did it teach me, and how do I want to incorporate that in my life moving forward? So I think the first main thing that I really learned is what it means to be available to students. Previously, to me, availability meant having walk-in hours, having space for them to make appointments, and of course, being able to answer emails. I offered office hours because it was kind of a common culture where I was working, but it was always something that made me feel slightly uncomfortable because I felt like I couldn't fully prepare for the student meetings in the way that I wanted to. And when we were, forced to suddenly move to a virtual environment, those walk-in hours went away because we couldn't figure out a quick way to make them work well. And something that me and all my colleagues have learned is that we feel like our advising appointments are so much better without having those walk-ins because we're able to prepare. I'm able to look over my student notes before they come in, and I also don't have to worry about having a waiting room of 10 students looking to see me. So I don't have to worry about trying to be really quick in my advising interactions. I also, learned to reframe the way I think about advising, in the sense that I used to think that certain things were emergencies. But I think the pandemic has helped me to realize what really is an emergency, and that in advising, while there are things that are time sensitive, there really isn't any emergencies. And having that different mindset for myself, I think enables me to be more calm and present with students, and to also relay a little bit more calmness to them over their situation. One of my other huge takeaways was how to control my calendar. By not having colleagues or students around me all the time, I was really able to take control of what my calendar looked like. And I realized that I need set aside time for focused things. While as academic advisors, of course, we are here to serve students, and I want to have plenty availability on my calendar for students to make those appointments. But I'm also, as an academic advisor, tasked with doing a lot of different administrative things. And I run a learning community as well that involves a lot of event planning. Those types of things require my focus and attention, and my undivided attention for a specific length of time. So it has been so helpful for me over this pandemic to learn how to better block my calendar so that I have time for students, but that I also have time to do these other tasks that I've been asked to do. And I think my last, and this is my biggest takeaway, has been mental health, right? We've all been hearing a lot about mental health over the past year. The lack of social interaction has forced us all to really think about how we're caring for ourselves and each other. So throughout the entire pandemic, I got a lot better at sending messages to my students, reminding them to take care of themselves. There's certain weeks that I know were really stressful during the term at Drexel that I would just send a message to all my advisees to say, hey, here are the support resources. And remember, take time for yourself, care for each other. And that also extends to us as advisors. We need to give ourselves grace, and we need to give ourselves time to care for us. I think that idea that we were all in it together during COVID, that's something that we need to carry forward. We are all in this life together. And there are always things that are coming up in individual lives that are going to cause us stress or that are going to make make our lives a little bit more difficult. So it's important that we're always treating each other with grace and kindness, and that we're extending that grace and kindness to our students and to our colleagues.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the one piece of advice you gave about managing your calendar. Yes, that's something that I wish a lot more people would do. And I think that can only aid in that last piece you were talking about in terms of advisor self-care. Because if you're managing your calendar, you're not meeting with students, all, the whole workday, right? You're having some time for yourself. So that's great. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that, those lessons learned. To our audience, really think about what you have learned, over the past 18 months. What have you improved upon? What are you going to take forward with you, as we move into that post-pandemic life? So subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video. Feel free to leave comments if you want to see this topic or other topics on future Dane's Desk. Micalena, thank you so much for being a guest.
Thanks for having me, Dane. It was great to be here.